Hello, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be discussing,
Stranger Things, episode 5.
Season 1, Episode 5. This episode is entitled The Flea and the Acrobat. Now, this episode picks up pretty much where we left off. You had Lonnie appearing. Now, I kind of, in my head, I was thinking this guy's going to be useless. I mean, he's completely out the picture. This guy just turns up out the blue. He's going to have no idea, so he's going to pretty much just discredit everything that's going on. He's going to be like, Joyce, you're crazy, you're losing it, love, you need to sleep. And that's pretty much exactly what he did. So, I mean, I don't really get. I get him turning up because of the funeral, but it's like, why couldn't they just show him at the funeral and have him dip off? It's like, he's kind of a pointless character.
He is. I would guess it's to kind of build up the mum, build up her strength as an individual to show that she can overcome. Clearly, this dude has walked over her in the past. Clearly, he's taken advantage of her.
What makes you say that?
He's had 2 kids with her, ditched her. She don't really live in a great place. She hasn't got a wonderful job. He doesn't seem to be contributing much to the family. I think he's been a real douche and ditched her. And I think it's to show that she can overcome it. Doesn't need him. She's determined to save the kid, even if he's not. It's pretty clear to me anyway that he was going to be douchey and useless. What's the other brother's name?
Jonathan.
When Jonathan went to him earlier in the season, I forget which episode, but when he went to his house and told him about Mike being missing, he didn't even care. He barely, who gets told their son has gone missing and does not care whatsoever. Clearly, he's only shown up to make some money out of it. So, he's there as a plot device to make her stronger. So, in that case, he works. But do I care about him? Not really.
Okay. Well, I think generally, he kind of discredited the kid was missing. I think he probably thought, it's nothing to kind of get alarmed at. So the guy's kind of laid back and relaxed. I mean,
yes, but that he should be concerned. Who just wipes that off? He's miles away from his son. The police are searching for him, and nothing. Not even a phone call to his mother. Clearly, he doesn't give a. You know what?
Okay. Right, so going on from there, we had Hopper doing his assault on the laboratory. So he's got in. He's smacking. This guy likes to smack people up and that.
Yeah, other cops as well.
Yeah, I think he just figures, it's okay, they're up to something, I'll get away with it. Because, I mean, it's one of them things where it's kind of goes both ways. If he smack them up, goes in there and turns out nothing's going on, then he's going to look like a moron. So, I mean, lucky for him and that, because he's kind of going around this thing kind of cack-handed, he's slapping people up, he's breaking into places. So, I mean, it's kind of lucky that actually things are actually going on, or it kind of... He'd look like a bit of an idiot. Well, he'd look like a crazy. So, I mean, he breaks in, he kind of gets all the way through. Like, my issue was, like, he gets the key card, opens the door, gets in on the other side, and then just, like, shoots the lock. It's like, dude, you're obviously planning to get... How's he planning to get out? So, I mean, that was a bit dumb. I thought that was stupid. So he gets through, finds the portal. Before he can really do anything, he's knocked out by scientists. And then he wakes up in his home. Like, my thing is that, like, why wouldn't they have just killed him?
Because he's a cop, I would guess.
Yeah, I know.
So, it's the difference between killing a little boy and killing a police officer.
Yeah, but it's kind of like...
You're bringing too much attention to yourselves then, surely.
Yeah, but they could have made it look like an accident or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like...
I guess. I mean, the answer is that he's a main character on the show and I need him around for a few more episodes.
Yeah, because it is kind of a small-time police department, you know what I mean? They can make it look like he got drunk or something like that. I mean, if you look in his house, you see all the, like, that he's always popping pills, he's got drinks about. I mean, they could have made it look like an overdose or something. Because I just found that sloppy. So he kind of wakes up in his house... and then he starts looking around, finding bugs. Now you kind of know what all them people like. In the first episode, you had the back of people's heads, and they were all like listening to phones and stuff like that. So they're kind of wiretapped everywhere in the little town, I guess. So when he kind of starts unscrewing stuff, he finds a bug, and then he ends up going to Joyce's house. So I mean, they're kind of on the same. They're working together now, which is good. So where they kind of showed a bit of like Elle's backstory, where they kind of had her go in a sensory deprivation tank. They had her kind of locked away in that so they could use her to get information out of people, and that's kind of where she found the monster. So I mean, I'm kind of interested where she kind of gets her abilities from, because like to go to this place and find I mean, telepathy can you see it can only go so far, but to actually like, because she finds a Russian guy, she listens to the information, and then she like stumbles upon this like monster. So I mean, her reach of telepathy, it's like goes all the way to Russia, and actually it's so strong it breaks down like dimensional walls. I mean, that's pretty goddamn strong telepathy, you know what I mean? I like rivals Professor X's.
Yeah, I suppose I would have a question. How much control does she have? Does she know how powerful she is? Can she keep it in check, or is this all part of her training? I still would question that.
I think maybe when she kind of reaches through and gets it, I think that's kind of, you said control. I think maybe she kind of loses control a little bit. You got to assume like she's in America. She's like hearing this guy you'd imagine is in Russia. So I mean it reaches there, but I think maybe she oversteps a little bit, and maybe that's why she finds a monster. So yeah, I've got Hopper and Joyce teaming up now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, and then we kind of go on to Nancy and Jonathan. They're kind of, what do? They go on their little adventure to find out what's going on. Beforehand, you kind of had the boys, and now you've got her. She actually names it as the kind of upside down world, and then they go to the teacher and they actually find out. So you were right, because you speculated that they go to the teacher and like ask about the alternate dimensions. So
Yeah.
at the wake they have a sit down with him, and then he says that you got to punch somehow. I mean, that was pretty pointless anyway. I mean, I like the explanation, but it's like when he kind of said you got to punch, like release a massive amount of energy and punch a wall in the space-time continuum, which is basically what Elle must have done, because you find that out a little later, that she kind of loses it. She kind of gets scared by the monster, gets pulled out, she loses it, and then cracks the wall, and that's what.
Right, but you see, you say that pointless. That's why it's there. They're explaining to you what you're seeing later. Otherwise, people won't be confused of what's happening. So, by having that scene with the boys, when it goes down with Elle, you can put together, okay, this is what's happened, as well as explaining to them. They're explaining to the audience what they're going to show later on.
So
and it's a big step. It's a big change to finally have a name for what's going on. And we've been speculating it's been some alternate dimension kind of thing for a while, but now they've pretty much confirmed it. So it's a big step in terms of the lore of the show.
Yeah, because like in the explanation as well, the kind of the kids twig that that there'll be magnetic disturbances, so they kind of set out with their little compasses, like going out to try, and then they kind of go around in circles, and it turns out Elle's like been. See, these kids are like. They're kind of immature. It's like they're real brave, but they're kind of immature, because like anyone can see, like the problem is, like, we go back to Elle not being able to explain everything, but these kids think it's going to be some little like monster like in Dungeons and Dragons, where they're going to whack it with a rock and it's like problem solved, and I don't think they actually realise, you can get killed. So I think Elle's kind of real justified in the fact that she was messing about with the compasses, because she's like, it's dangerous, I'm trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, but they should be immature. They are kids.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you bet as soon as they see that monster, they won't be so keen to go after it. I mean,
Absolutely, but I'd rather them behave like children than, like you get in some shows where you got kids that are like 40 years old who know better than the adults and tell the adult, no, this makes more sense. They think they're going to go fight some monster and it's going to be cool like their little game, and no, it's not going to be. And Elle, having not had the childhood that they've had, doesn't really have that fantasy. She can't sit there and make pretend. She knows it's crappy and is trying to protect them, but they don't want to see that.
Yeah. So I mean, it all kind of comes to a head, and Lucas and Mike fight, and then Elle kind of and then blasts Lucas. It's like, I find Lucas annoying. He's probably my least favourite of all the boys, to be honest. I just find him annoying. But I mean, it all comes to a head. He's
the one that would like sell you out the pirates or something. Like, say we've all been caught and the pirates say, let's one's got to walk the plank. He's the one that would point you out and be like, yeah, pick him. Like, I don't trust him.
No, I think he's not very trusting of like, because he's always been like vocal about Elle and stuff like that. You kind of got his negative, you've got Mike positive, and then you've got Dustin, who's kind of like neutral. So I mean, that came to head, kind of blasted them apart, and then she ends up disappearing, which is kind of annoying because I like her and I feel bad for her. So, and then you've got later on in the episode, I mean, you get Jonathan and Nancy, the dream team, genius, Mensa, decide, I know, we're gonna like, that they should know better, we're just gonna wander about the woods in the middle of the night, we're gonna find this like bear wolf thing, which turns out is like a faceless thing, which like, so they're going around, they find a dead deer. Yeah, because they had like, earlier in the episode they had Jonathan with like the gun and that, is going in there, yeah, we're gonna get it done, then you see him training, like popping the cans and that, and he's missing by like, it's like, dude, how could you miss? So he's missing every shot, and then Nancy swans in, never fired a gun in her life, and nails the can in one shot. So obviously, I mean, the guys they kind of draw parallels, really. Sometimes it can be okay, but as soon as you think, okay, this kid's kind of okay, he ends up doing something stupid or creepy, and then it's just like, oh, whatever, you know what I mean, this kid's whack. So I'm waiting for him to kind of have his like great moment where he actually does something amazing. So you got them in the woods with the deer, and then this is probably like the one moment so far that's actually like nanged me out, because they're looking at the deer who's just about to shoot. I'm convinced if the deer didn't get dragged off, which, I mean, that scared me. It was like boom and then gone, and they did the loud noise and it kind of scared me. So like that, I'm guaranteed Jonathan probably would have missed at point blank if he tried to shoot that deer and it didn't get dragged off.
Probably, yeah, and it was quite creepy. I got kind of Harry Potter vibes, the Philosopher's Stone. They were in the woods and you got Voldemort kind of feeding on the unicorn or whatever it was. But really creepy. Whenever you come across like a dead animal in the woods, leave it be.
Yeah.
Run the other way.
Leave that bitch alone. So, and then you had like Miss Jeannie, you had it dragged off. They're like, oh, what's popping? And then like you find the tree, and then Nancy thinks, oh, here's an idea, I'm just going to crawl through it. It's like, most people would just be like, oh, what's this gooey stuff, man, I'm crawling through this thing, I've got all this like slime on me and stuff like that. You wouldn't catch many people like, oh no, I'm just gonna crawl through it. So she crawls through it, and then you see like the monster, and then its kind of face opens up, she gets nang, she runs off, and Jonathan's like, oh, what's going on? Literally stares at the tree stump and then decides, nah, that can't be it, and runs in the opposite direction. I'm like, this kid's a moron.
Do you think that she thinks Barb is alive?
I think she thinks because there's kind of Will must be alive, that Barb should be alive. But like, do
you think? I think Barb's dead.
Right, so you think, yeah, because maybe you would have heard her or something like that. So you think, because when you saw her in the swimming pool and she got dragged off, it's like, you don't think, oh, she's got dragged off, she's still sitting there or something. You think that was the moment that she died.
I do. She might be alive, I might be wrong, but if I had to guess, I would say she's probably dead.
Yeah. I don't really care.
Neither do I. We didn't get to spend enough time with her, but Nancy cares, obviously.
I'd probably say, yeah, that was a moment where she died. So I mean, yeah, yeah. I just that moment and that where he's like standing there, he's looking about, and I swear he shines a light on the tree stump, and then he just like runs off in the other direction. I'm like, is this kid a moron?
Well,
But
yeah, we know he's the right amount, isn't he?
he just every single time. I think it's probably because he heard her shout. It must have like come from over there because she was like in the other dimension over there. But I swear to God, he shined the light on the tree stump and then he ran in the opposite direction. I was like, oh my God, why wouldn't you just investigate the tree stump? So, I mean,
In fairness, at least he didn't ditch her. He is kind of looking for her.
like, yeah, and the thing as well, right near the tree stump, you had the baseball bat and a bag, and he just thinks nothing of it and that. He
Well,
just still runs in the opposite direction. I mean, everything's laid out on a plate for you there. Look at the tree stump, and he
Yeah.
just dashes off. It's like, oh, I got really angry because I was thinking if she gets killed now because this idiot ran in the opposite direction.
She's not going to get killed, though, is she? They're not going to kill her.
Nah, but I
No.
mean, at least she's kind of important now.
Yeah, and she's important. I'm still. The boyfriend wasn't really in the episode much. It's not like it was in the first episode where it was a big plot in the show, so it doesn't bother me anymore. But I still don't quite get it.
Well, I think they'll kind of because you had the kind of moron boyfriend turn up and be like, let's hang out, and then he starts singing, and it's like Begsy goes away. His hair's a little too big for me. It makes me
It just
sick.
seems like such a douche as well. Maybe they'll circle around. I don't know.
I think it's a douche. I think like Jonathan's face is kind of creepy. Maybe that's why. I don't know. There's something about his face and his
Honestly,
hair.
everything about that guy is creepy.
So I mean, if I had to name a favourite character, I'd have to say the deer because it scared me.
I would say Nancy.
Oh yeah, you like Nancy, yeah?
Yeah, man.
She has a nice jawline. I'll admit it. So I think
She had a gun. That was cool.
yeah, and she can actually hit something at distance as opposed to I fired a gun when I was 10 years old. My father took me hunting, but now I can't even hit a can. Would you like to go, Nancy? Okay, one shot. So
Whose accent was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's clever Jonathan's accent. That's genius Jonathan. Right, so do you feel like we've covered everything?
I think so.
That's what I'm going to call him from now on, Genius Jonathan, because he keeps doing dumb stuff. He can't help himself. If it's creepy and dumb, he's there. I mean, how could you be so cack-handed you couldn't even hit a can? I mean, he was whacking off shots, 6 shots, and he couldn't even.
I'll be honest, I probably couldn't do it either.
Come on, man. The guy's got 20/20 vision. You got glasses. You should. I mean, if Nancy can
I
do
got a
it,
bit of an excuse.
he can do it. I'm surprised the flipping wrist didn't slap. So let's talk numbers.
Oh, eight.
I'd give it a 9.
Wow, a 9.
Yeah, normally I've pretty much given every episode 8.5, but I think this one was a good one. You know what I mean? We're making strides. Now we've kind of got the people are doubling up. I kind of want to see what's popping with Elle, what's happening with her, whether the boys are going to get back together. So, yeah. That's been the episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and you've been watching the Superhero Hub.